Hi, it's Wednesday, and that means it's time for another video edition of Widower Wednesday. I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower, and today we're going to discuss how long it takes widowers to emotionally heal from the death of their late wife. The genesis of this video comes from a comment that was left on my YouTube channel, and it goes like this. Abel, what if the widower says he wants to be 100% emotionally ready to marry, but isn't there yet? My widower and I have been together 9 months. He is moving forward, but isn't emotionally healed from his late wife's death, date of death 1 year ago, and doesn't want to commit himself until he's fully ready, but is working towards that every day through counseling, being in nature, etc. Does any of that sound concerning to you, or does it sound like we're moving in the right direction? Great question. And first of all, I want to say I don't have a problem with widowers being emotionally ready before they tie the knot again. In fact, I think it's a good thing because if they're not emotionally ready, then the marriage generally ends in divorce. And we know about over 2/3 of widowers who remarry, actually, that relationship ends in divorce. And that's even assuming, of course, that the relationship makes it that far. Most widowers, and I would have put myself in this back when I was dating, they aren't emotionally ready for a relationship when they start dating again. Now, that doesn't mean they can't get there, doesn't mean that they can't reach a point where they're emotionally ready for a relationship, but just setting the baseline there, 99% of widowers are not emotionally ready for a relationship when they start dating again. And again, looking back, I put myself in that bucket as well. So again, widower may not be ready, doesn't mean he can't get there. In fact, I think he can get there. The problem is what does it mean? And this is what I want you to ask yourself. If you have a widower who says, I want to be emotionally ready to marry again, or, I need to get over my grief before, we can, move things forward. Okay, that's fine. I 100% agree with that. But ask yourself, what does it mean to be 100% ready? Because unless it's accompanied by specifics, it's usually a cop-out. What the widower is really saying is that he doesn't know what he wants, or if he even wants to get married again, but is trying to buy time to figure things out. Now, I don't know if this is the case with the person that asked the question where they've been dating their widower 9 months. It sounds like, again, he's going to counseling, he's going maybe taking walks or hiking or whatever he wants to do in nature. Those are good things. But this is what I want to give you, though, is 4 specific questions that you can ask the widower in order to find out, is he using this excuse as a cop-out, or is he actually ready? Is he actually, trying to work through his grief? So if the widower says to you is like, hey, I'd like to commit, whatever, I'd want to get married, or, before we get serious, I need to be emotionally ready, I need to stop grieving, there's probably various ways to say it. 4 things you can ask the widower in order to find out if he's being serious or not about this. Ask him, the first question is what does being emotionally ready look like? I mean, I think that's a fair question. If you say, I'm going to be emotionally ready, what does that look like? Does that mean, you're done grieving? Does that mean, what does that mean? Again, this is where I come back to, is it a cop-out or not? If it's not a cop-out, he should be able to tell you what does it mean to be emotionally ready? If I'm 100% emotionally ready, what does that mean? Does it mean he's found a special place for the late wife in his heart, things like that? Then the second question you ask is, assuming he can give you an answer on that, is what does he have to do to reach that point? And I'll give you my story on this in a second, but what does the widower have to do to reach this goal or this point of being 100% ready? Does it, involve walks in nature? Does it involve counseling? Does it involve just some time alone? Does it involve forgiving the late wife? What does it actually take? Because in order to actually get to a point where you're 100% emotionally ready, again, whatever that means, you have to have a path and a way to do that. So if the widower is doing that, he should be able to tell you what being emotionally ready or getting over his grief looks like, and what exactly he has to do to reach that point. And then you can even ask him, well, what are some mileposts along the way? How is this journey progressing? So again, like if he's going to counseling or whatever, how long is this going to go on? Is it going to go on a year, 10 years? And I know that there's not a specific date, but is he, can he look back on his counseling, for example, and say, hey, I'm doing better? Or can he come back from his nature walks or whatever it is that he's doing and saying, every time I go out on a walk, I feel like I'm able to put some stuff behind me. And I get it. I used to go running in the morning, and that's when I would compartmentalize thoughts of Krista and hope and stuff like that. And I kind of get my grieving done that way. So again, what are some mileposts along the way? And then again, how long does he think it will take to emotionally heal and be 100% ready? That's the 4th question you ask. How long is this going to take? Because let's be honest, there's 2 people in this relationship, and you can't be waiting around for years. And he may not have a specific time frame, right? He may not be able to say, well, on March 3rd, I'm going to be ready. No, but he should be able to say, hey, the way I'm progressing, I can see us getting married within the year. I mean, he should be able to kind of visualize that and be working towards that. Now, if he can't answer any of these questions and he's kind of hemming and hawing and, well, I don't know what being emotionally ready looks like. I don't know what I'm going to have to do there. I don't know these steps I'm going to have to take, and I don't know how long this is going to take. Okay, it's a complete cop out. I'm telling you right now, he's not ready for a relationship, and the best thing you can do is say, you know what, that's fine. I can see you have a lot of work to do. I'm going to go live my life. When you're ready, when you are 100% ready, reach back out. If I'm still available, maybe we can get back together and work something out like that. Otherwise, you're going to be strung along for months, years, whatever, until either the widower gets tired of you or until he's just like, until you realize that this healing, so to speak, is never going to happen. So again, widowers who, again, in this case, marriage, who want to tie the knot, they will know what it takes to actually do that. So what did that look like for me? So when I was dating Juliana, I don't think I ever said I need to be emotionally ready, even though Juliana and I had discussions about, well, if we're going to get married, what does this look like? The two big things I had to do was, first of all, is I had to forgive my late wife, Krista, for taking her own life, and kind of along with that, the life of our unborn daughter. And then I had to kind of reach a point where I kind of could feel peace that it was okay to kind of move on and start a new life, right? So if Juliana was to ask me again, going back to these questions, what does being emotionally ready look like? It's forgiving Krista and finding peace that it's okay to have a relationship with her, okay? So again, if Juliana was asked that question, there's the first answer. If Juliana was to ask, well, what do I have to do to reach that point? Well, okay, this is where it gets a little nebulous, is, I got to find, I've got to work on forgiving Krista, and it was something I was doing every day. There's lots of ways I was doing it. I was kind of, I was moving forward. I was I was exercising. I was, kind of compartmentalizing my thoughts about her, just trying to reach peace. I was praying. There were lots of things I was doing. And again, keep in mind that sometimes these, there may not be a specific milepost, but again, what are you doing to kind of reach that point, right? And I could have told her some things I was doing. I thought they were helping. I felt like I was moving on. And then, if she was to ask me how long is this going to take, I might not have been able to give her a specific answer, but I could say, hey, I'm hoping, we want to get married, we're looking to get married soon. Or, I know that this is important for you. I'm hoping I can reach this point in the next few months or something like that. Now, again, forgiving Krista and feeling at peace, that's something that more or less happened at the same time. I kind of reached a forgiving thing about 10, 11 months after she died. If you want to read about it, it's in Room for Two. You can kind of read that. I think it's the second to the last chapter or something, where I kind of reached that peace and kind of reached that forgiveness point. And then, feeling that we were, that it was okay to move on. Those kind of happened roughly about the same time. It was basically a year after she died. And again, Julie and I didn't have this conversation, but I knew that those were two things I had to do in order not only to marry Juliana, but to have, we've been married 18 years now, but to have this big, long, loving relationship. The only way that could have happened is if I kind of reached those 2 points. Now, I understand that everybody's different. Every widower is different. Their circumstances are different, and so they may not have to forgive the late wife. They may not have to have that feeling of peace. There may be other things that they have to do, but again, they should be able, if they're very serious about the relationship and about having a relationship with you, they should be able to more or less articulate what it means to be emotionally ready. What does it mean to get over my grief? They should be able to go ahead and articulate those. And again, there may not be a specific time frame, but again, my experience has been, not only my experience, but I've seen this hundreds of times with clients and other people that I've been working with. When a widower really wants to heal and move forward, he will figure out a way to do it. Again, there's not a specific roadmap per person, but gosh darn it, if they want to be married and be happy again, they will figure out a way to do it. They will figure out exactly what it is they need to be done. So bottom line, there's not a time frame, but widowers who remarry and are happily remarried again, that healing, or being 100% emotionally ready, or getting over the grief, however they're phrasing it, it happens a lot faster than most people think. And that's because they want to open their heart. They want to start a new life, and they realize that not being emotionally ready, or not, still being grieving, is going to hurt that relationship, and that's not something they want to do. So go ahead and leave more comments down below. Feel free to subscribe to this channel. You want to schedule a coaching session and talk about whether or not you're emotionally ready or what you need to do to kind of reach that point. Happy to go ahead and do that as well. You can do it at my website, www.abelkeogh.com. I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower, and I will see you next Wednesday.